Welcome to our new interview series brought to you by Sportstalks.ie. I'm your host, Aisling O'Reilly, and over the next couple of months, I'll be chatting with some of the GA's top players, coaches, and management from both the male and female games. You can follow us by using our handle at sportstalk.ie, and we would like to thank Dublin's premier nightclub and hotel, Copperface Jacks, for the wonderful venue. And if you're thinking of staying and partying in Dublin, check out copperfacejacks.ie. Joining me for our first chat are two Westmeath men. We have Kieran Martin, the current Westmeath captain, and we have Boidu Sayeh, who recently featured on Air Sports document. No. What did I say? Sayeh. Oh,
Do you play at Man United?
it's Lionel Sayeh.
No, Linus Sayeh.
Boidu
Sayeh.
Sayeh.
I was going so well.
Yeah, you're going so good.
Anyway, we just do it from that. Sayeh.
Sayeh. Yeah, Sayeh.
Sayeh. Sorry.
That's all right.
Boidu
It's okay.
Sayeh.
It's okay.
So,
Boidu Sayeh. I was like, whoa. Sorry.
I didn't even flinch.
I
I
know,
thought I
you're-
got it.
Perfect.
True pro.
All right, cool. Do that clappy thing again.
So say it again. This is fully going to be in it. I know it. I know.
Sayeh.
Sayeh.
Like, yeah. Sayeh.
Sayeh.
Sayeh, yeah.
Sayeh. Okay.
Altogether, Sayeh.
Joining me for our first chat are two Westmeath men, Kieran Martin, the Westmeath football captain, and Boidu Sayeh, who recently featured on Air Sports documentary series where he talks about the journey from Africa to Rosemount. You're welcome, lads.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
So have you had many nights out here in Coppers?
The odd few.
Any you can tell us about?
We can't
not.
really remember them. To be honest.
That's a good night.
Yeah. Generally, this is the place where everyone tends to come towards the end of the night, and then we probably all lose each other again. So, but look, it's a GA club, and you can get that sense when you come into it. Especially All Ireland night, this place is full of jerseys, so
Yeah,
makes
big
you
time.
feel like home.
And so you haven't, as a club or as a county, you didn't come out any team nights?
A few, I think.
No,
Oh,
I think
yeah?
I came here with my college, I think, once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a night out. I
Oh,
think
God.
We had a match up here, so we just all decided to come out.
You're not telling me the real stories now.
That's about it. Like, that's what
I don't think we're allowed.
And so obviously this year you got to fulfill a bit of that dream. You got to walk the steps in the Hogan stand and you got to lift that cup. Don't mind that. Anyone who just hate walking them Hogan stand.
Yeah, no, look, at the end of the day, it was a brilliant year for Westmeath with the Burn Cup and the Division 3. As I said earlier, it was one of our goals. We set to be promoted, and then once we got to the final, we had to go and win it. And it was a huge honour to represent the lads as captain. It's something, again, I said you always dream of, but to actually do it, even though it is a league, look, not too many people can say that they did it. But the one memory I actually have was after I lifted it, looking around and seeing my mother crying beside me. That's
That's what it's about, isn't
yeah.
it? This is what
And
the
I
GA
think
is all
she
about.
bet her way in to get there. So,
Really? She
and,
made sure.
Yeah. But and there's things like that you remember as well.
Yeah.
But in fairness, a lot more came out of that than just us winning it. There was a guy back in Westmeath that had an illness, and in fairness to Laois, they donated money towards that, after the game as
I know,
well.
I heard your speech,
yeah. And that's what it's all about at
That's
the end
it.
of the day.
Yeah.
Like football, it's great winning, it can get you so far, but it shows you that there is more important things at
It's
the
the
end
community
of the day.
around it, yeah, definitely. And Boidu, what about you? Going out in Crow Park, coming from Liberia to think you're going out in Crow Park?
Yeah, that was my second time playing in Crow Park. Yeah, it was huge. Like, I remember hopping into Crow Park in 2004 to watch the Westmeath win Leinster. I was actually,
I wasn't
I
playing.
was
I'm not
yeah,
that old.
But yeah, I remember my granddad bringing me there for the first time, my first time ever. Like, and you know, in front of, like, sitting in Crow Park was outrageous. Like, and then my dream was to play there one day, and I played there when I was minor, which was good as well. But to win something with Westmeath, the league, it was outrageous. It was unreal feeling as well. So
Yeah.
I was delighted to get up there. I was mad to get the trophy, but yeah, it's good.
And so you're going to go on now and play Division 2. So that'll be a big
Yeah.
step up.
Huge step up. Yeah, it's gonna be a massive step up, and
How do you feel for that?
like Jack's gonna have a completely different setup this year. I think it's gonna be a little bit
Tougher.
tougher as well. Like, it's gonna be,
You're looking forward to that? Your faces say it all.
No, looking forward to playing Division 2. Not looking forward to the training or
Like
nothing.
the pre-season training is hard.
Yeah.
But it's more the thoughts of going in to do it. Once you're in the middle of it, you actually
You enjoy
it, and you get something out of doing the hard sessions, because there is nothing better than 30 lads on the pitch knowing they're after putting in a hard hour and a half, or with Jack probably 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Because
Yeah, actually, that's interesting. We just go through a little bit of your schedule that you would have done
Well, I do it.
Monday
You go on ahead,
to
right.
Sunday.
So, like, put it a bit closer.
Back in action.
So on a Tuesday we train in the morning, say about 7:00 in AIT, and that's about an hour session gymming, and then in the evening we train about 8:00, probably in AIT again or somewhere else.
The same day, or?
On the same day.
Oh,
yeah. So
right.
7:00 in the morning, and then 8:00 in the evening we train again. So that's what 2 sessions in one day, and then we have our day off. And then we train again on a Thursday in the morning, on the evening, exact same thing. And then we have a day off on Friday. And then we're either in the gym on a Saturday, in the Moldfound, or on the pitch on Sunday the next morning.
So
it's
a
hectic
lot
enough,
of the
isn't it?
time, like, you'd be
It's
doing
hectic.
your 6 sessions a week, but to be over kind of your 4 days.
Yeah.
To kind of do that so that you get your kind of your rest in between it. We have our Monday, Wednesday, Friday completely off, which is good too.
Yeah.
easy.
But you need that.
Yeah, you will, because Saturday mornings we would be in the gym, generally Wolfhound, and then Sunday you have your pitch session, and that could be 2 to 3 hours
Right.
minimum, because you bring in your video analysis.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But it depends on different times of the year. Come up to Christmas, that's what we'd be doing. But when you have games on, you'll be tapering off, and especially the league, because you'll have 3 games in a row. You'll probably only go to your Tuesday, and then Thursday you'll have the 1 session. So for the couple of weeks it's good, and it is a help to have your 3 days off.
Yeah.
Especially with lads travelling from Dublin.
How does that work? So how are they, if they're training in the morning,
So
are they going to be late for work, or
no,
how do
we
they?
have our different kind of what you can say depots nearly.
Right,
So
okay.
in AIT, so anyone around the Athlone area,
Yeah.
they do it in AIT. Then you have your Mullingar, and then the Dublin base.
I don't think people realise that. Yeah.
So that's for the morning session, but the
Yeah.
evening sessions we all come to the one spot. So they'll be travelling, they'll be going to work, and then travelling down to probably Mullingar or Athlone.
And do some of them live up in Dublin?
A
And
lot of there's about 5 or 6.
Yeah,
I'd
a few
say.
lads live
Some of them are in college and some of them are working here. And that's the commitment.
that's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, like once 1 or 2 of them doesn't drive, and when there's no one going down, they get the train down, and
Yeah.
then come back up to the train the next morning. We kind of, it's easy for us because we're down there.
You're
but
living
they're-
down there,
and,
yeah.
like, they're the lads that are putting in the effort. But there's guys all over the
All over the
country,
country they're
yeah.
doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the likes of Kerry and Cork, I'm sure they're travelling
Like,
up to Dublin to
Mayo
work. And
would have used down through the years. Mayo would have used our club pitch a lot, because it's
It was
kinda-
sorta in the
it's
middle.
halfway.
actually, yeah, one of my friends played with Leitrim, and he said that they used to train in Abbottstown,
Yeah.
in Blanchardstown.
Yeah.
And I was like, what, Leitrim train in Blanchardstown? This is mad. He's like,
Yeah.
because majority of the team are in Dublin. Is it difficult returning every year from the county setup and going back again, knowing that maybe the Leinster final or in All Ireland, maybe it's not realistic?
I like Kieran us this because I've only been on the Westmeath panel for about 4 years now, but you've been on it for the last 10 years.
Like mentally, can the lads come back and are they're pushing on just as much, or is it hard?
That's why I think there's such a drive for the league nowadays, because people know, especially in Leinster. Look, getting to a Leinster final is huge, but you kind of know what's waiting for you when you get there.
Yeah, see, Leinster, you're unlucky you have Dublin
Yeah.
there too, isn't it?
Like, we got to 2 Leinster finals in a row, and obviously we met Dublin and they bet us well in the end, where we competed with them for some first 40 minutes, and then they just get 2 goals like that, and they've pulled away from you. But the big difference I've seen with them, the 3rd time we played them was in a row. We was in the semi-final, and they bet us by 31 points, and they were just different animals altogether. And that's just, they've been improving themselves over the years and getting bigger and stronger. I remember just Kieran Kilkenny running straight at me at one stage, and I just put on my arm to stop him, and he just
Ran
it
through.
was
you.
like a doorway, just ran straight through it, like. And then we were like 20 points down or 19 points down at half time, and I turned around to look at one of the lads and just say, what the hell are we going to do? Like, and then when I turned around, the actual Dublin team were after sprinting into the dressing rooms. They were gone, and I was like, God. They're just different
A dip-
animals. Yeah,
it's-
they're just.
Yeah.
But like, that's, as I said, there's a big push for the league every year, and if you can get promoted in the league, it's a start of a good year for you. But you hope to get your run in the back door. But it is hard, and especially the longer it goes on or the longer you're there, it gets harder and harder. Like Frank Boyle, he's probably around 13, 14 years at least.
I think it's harder for the younger lads who aren't getting the games to come back every year.
Yeah.
You know, so like I only started playing the last 2 years, like starting on the team the last 2 years. But I was there for 4 years, like, so I'd come back every year in order not to play a game, just to train. Like, so it's a lot of lads on the panel as well that are doing that, just coming back and training.
And what was it that made you? You're in there 2-3 years. You're not getting game time.
Yeah, you just
but
have to
kept
keep.
coming
You
back.
just have to keep pushing yourself and trying to push the lads around you, and you know, you have that drive as well in order to make the team. That's the goal for everyone. So however long it takes to make that team, you know, you just got to keep pushing, I suppose. It's probably the same with every other county over there as well.
You have to be mentally strong and motivated. And that's the difference between probably club players and county players. Like, if a county player is given a gym program to do, he'll do it.
Yeah.
Where some players will just probably half do it, and that's the like, they're not able to probably commit to that much. But
So it's a mindset maybe. There could be lads that are playing club that could be good enough to play, but maybe their head's not in it.
There definitely, and you can see it every year that there is players that come in, they'll give it everything for a year, and then you mightn't see them again. And that's,
Yeah.
but you have that everywhere.
So is there lads in Westmeath that could be on that county team that are choosing just not
there's
to?
definitely.
There's lads in every county that should be playing county football, but they're not, because they probably don't want to give the commitment, and they're enjoying playing their club football. And at the end of the day, that's what football's about. You want to enjoy it.
Oh yeah, that's fair enough.
Like, it's horses for courses.
That's it.
What?
Good way of putting it.
I don't even know what that means.
So what's your view then? Say they're talking about a tier championship system. So probably like the hurling, you have the Christie ring and stuff like that. Do you think it'll work? Do you think?
I don't really mind the Super 8s, but like.
But then you have your
But then,
two-tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a
I'll let you
two-tier
answer
system.
this 'cause
So
I'm not really-
yeah.
It is complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Will teams if they know they're in the second tier, will they put in as much effort?
This is it.
But will they get as much funding from the county board? That's the other side of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Will the fans come out
Yeah,
and
that's what I was
support
about
you?
to say.
Yeah.
Will it be as big as it is now?
it's like the league. There's like Division 1 games compared to Division 4. What's the
crowd
difference in
difference,
the
like.
crowd? Huge, like.
Mm-hmm.
But
you
it's
could be winning. You could win whatever.
but
they
I think
call
there's
it.
better ways to do it. It is nice to win, obviously, championship, even though it's a second tier. But I think the main thing they're trying to get out of it is you're getting more games
Yeah.
in the championship. Where there's other ways about doing that. Like, you can go like your Champions League system, where you have your groups of 4.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed to have 3 games. And then it's like your top team goes in. Then you could do your second tier as well. Like, your top teams go into a quarter-final or semi-final.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second goes into a different group then. Goes into a different tier championship. But you're still getting more games.
Yeah.
But you're letting counties play the likes of Dublin. You're letting counties play the likes of Tyrone and Kerry. That put your 4 provincial finalists tiered, and then bring them out of wherever they're playing. Bring them to Leitrim. If you brought Dublin to Leitrim, they'd sell out down there.
Yeah.
Because all Leitrim would want to go see them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference.
So that brings you to the point of like playing the games in Croke Park, and obviously we've seen this year there's not even half a stadium,
Yeah.
and the atmosphere is just drained. I seen it was Meath and Laois. I know you fell short just before that game, but I went in to see that game, and the atmosphere was just dead. And like, you spent whatever trying to get in there in the first place, and do you think it would work better if they were more local?
Tullamore, like, you know, would have been would have filled out Tullamore, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And that's it. Like, they're just, I think it's because everything is going to be centred around Dublin.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter if it was probably Laois and Kildare. I reckon they probably still would have brought it to Croke Park, where they need to probably start bringing them out. Like, if that game was in Tullamore, I would have went to see it.
Yeah.
Anyone from Westmeath would, and that's you're bringing more people into it, where we weren't going to travel to Dublin to see it,
No.
especially
know.
after Laois beating us.
No. I know, 2 points, wasn't
could
it?
Be the fact that
I don't
could
know.
be another fact though that might give other county a chance to play in Croke Park. You know, like no, we don't really get that many games in Croke Park. You know, so it could be.
It's
trying
it's
to
a good
push
occasion
one
when you
game,
do get
trying
there.
to push one game for the county to play in Croke Park.
There is pros and
even though
cons.
there's-
Yeah.
even though there's no
And so do you think that Dublin have just set the bar too high now? Or is it up to Westmeath and Meath and
Yeah, we just
the
have
likes
to-
to just get
have to
themselves
catch
in
up, isn't
order?
Yeah, that's it. You have to
Yeah, you
try
just
and
have to catch up.
Where there is a conveyor belt coming there from Dublin. Like, you look at the programme from the first All Ireland, the one in the 5 in a row, to the starting team, to the one at there a few weeks ago. Dublin have gradually brought in probably 2 or 3 players every year without anyone really noticing.
Yeah.
People are still on about Bernard Brogan, the likes of Michael Darmacaulay. They were all starting, but now
Yeah.
they're your subs coming on. For
And
the
it
last
is only
10,
5
15.
years on, which isn't,
And that's what
Too
I mean.
much.
Like they're after, like you look at Merchants after coming in, like Costello's in and out.
yeah.
Fenton
It's mad to
midfield,
see
like-
someone like Costello coming off the bench. I
Yeah,
can
it's
never
mad.
understand it.
Like he could.
And if I suppose if you do have someone like him to come off the bench,
Yeah.
isn't that where you have a 5 in a
like
row
he
winning
won it
All
for them
Ireland
one
team?
year, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He scored 6 points, I think, in the All Ireland final one year. Won it for them,
Yeah.
and he's only coming in and out. But look, they've worked on it, and they're that far ahead. It's just as it's up to us. Although they do have help, a bit more help than what everyone else is doing. But at the end of the day, we're doing the exact same as what they're doing. It's just we have to try and fine tune it to improve that small bit more.
Yeah. And Jack Cooney's had a good year this year. It's his first year in. Boidu, what do you make of him?
Yeah. Jack was good. He kind of brought something new to the setup this year. Like obviously, we had great managers beforehand. Like they did a great job. Like getting to 2 Leinster finals with Tom Craven was great. Like, but having that manager from Westmeath is probably kind of different. It's different having someone who knows the players a little bit better. He's seen us all grow up, and he's probably coached a good few of us as well. So having him in there, it kind of made a huge difference. It kind of brought a lot of players who wasn't feeling like they wanted to come back, just wanted to push on a bit more. So he changed it up a bit. He brought new strength and conditioning coaches in. He brought a new Pascal Callahan in there as well. Some great coaches, just kind of changed our whole game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And
Kieran.
he loves it.
And yeah, he is.
absolutely loves
He
it.
is.
And he loves Westmeath.
Yeah,
So
that's
the big
yeah,
thing,
he's-
isn't it? If you know your manager is
Yeah.
mad about
Like,
Westmeath as well.
We'd be there training, and he'd be just in awe that he's there, and he'd be, God, I'd stay here all night. And we're like, we don't want
Yeah,
to.
we wanna
Can
go
we
home.
go home.
Yeah, like after training or something, you go and ring you like, oh, how'd you think that session went?
Oh,
I'm like,
really?
Jack,
Yeah,
like,
no,
I'm tired.
So
Yeah,
his
he's-
man management skills are good. Like
Yeah,
he'd
he's
ring
so
his,
good,
yeah.
chat to his.
Yeah. No, he's very good that way. Like, you couldn't actually ask for a better manager. Like, he does, like, he's great that way. He can great crack. He's one of the lads, but not to.
No line, like.
Yeah, the line not to cross.
You need that line.
He
though.
does bring that bit. Like,
Yeah.
you do be scared. Like, if you have to go and say, look, I mightn't be around next week, you're kind of like.
Yeah, really.
I think you need that in a manager. Someone you're afraid to let down, but at the same time, if you had a problem, you'd
Oh,
be
yeah,
first,
he'd be the
first,
first
one you
first
go
one,
over to.
yeah, exactly,
I think
yeah.
that's really hard to get in a manager.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, to have someone that can call you and just go away from talking about football,
He does
talk
ask
about
me
Yeah.
everything okay, like,
Yeah.
and how I feel,
How-
and
yeah.
how's work, and
Just the normal, because
Yeah.
there is a life outside of all this,
Exactly.
and
he knows that too. Like, and in fact, he'd tell you straight out that. Look, he said he doesn't he doesn't mind the lads if they want to have a drink or two.
yeah,
He says, but once it doesn't affect your training, and that's it. Like, if lads want to go out and have 2 or 3 pints, let them. But if you're not right for training the Tuesday,
that's on you then.
that's
Yeah.
on you, and that's when there's a problem.
That's a good point to bring up. So, the two of you then, what do you think drinking bans? Do you agree or don't agree, or
Don't let Kieran answer that.
Kieran? This one's to
No.
you.
No. What do I think about drinking? Do you know, like, I think it should be on the players, like, especially with Jack as well. He kind of leaves it to us.
Yeah,
Do you know, as in if you have a very important game on the Sunday and it's a Monday evening, you know yourself, like, you're probably not going to touch a drink because you want to get the most out of yourself. But, drinking bans for, like, month and month, I think is a bit much.
It's kind of that's in the past now. People realise, and I think.
You reckon it's done with? People
Well,
aren't
like-
really implementing that as much.
I think the players know themselves that if you can have your few drinks, but you have to time them. They know they're not going to perform their best if you're on the beer for a solid 2 or 3 days with a match coming up.
Just have the
week
one day.
after. Just if you went for that one day, like just one. But and that's and in fairness, like you see all the county teams, they're starting to kind of go that way now. That they're going out and having their few drinks together. Although they're not going mad, they might go out and have their few drinks together, and then and then there is times where you do have to let loose. And in fairness, Jack is good that way. Like we'll have a training block. We could go for 4, 5, 6 weeks of a training block, and then if we'll have that weekend off where we'll go have a session, and we'll have our few drinks then after that. And it does need to be done every now and again, but I think the whole thing where managers were coming in, right, we're going on a 3-month drinking ban.
Yeah.
I think that's what drove players away from it,
Big
especially
time.
at club
it would,
level.
like.
County level you can see somewhat, but again, most county lads will just time it. If you have a match next week, no. But if you have 2 weeks for a game, you'll have your couple, and then you're back training.
And is that like showing that it's going away from being amateur? Like people are like drinking bans, like it's very serious, very tactical. Has it gone up a step now, do you reckon?
I think the training has moved up a step.
Yeah, the training definitely.
But
Well, I wouldn't like
Yeah.
I can't like. I suppose I've come from on the 21.
Oh yeah, so
minor,
4
like,
years I came to you
so,
now.
like, I wouldn't know with senior how
like
if it's changed. that much.
2009 was my first year,
Yeah.
and we were just doing Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Yeah, and they were all
And that
pitch
was
sessions.
once in the evening or
That was once in the evening, yeah.
and now what are you doing now?
It's 6
We're
times,
doing the
six
twice
times.
on a Tuesday and twice on a Thursday for Saturday and Sunday. But and that's your gym as well, where we weren't really doing gym that time.
Yeah.
It was probably 2010, 2011. That's when the big push for S&C kind of came in.
It's
And then
coming
that's
out.
all you did.
So it's like a
That's it,
professional
yeah.
athlete at the end of the day.
Yeah. Nowadays it
It
is, yeah.
It's
But
unreal. But you're going to work, you're doing all the
Yeah.
Exactly. Going to work, going to college. You're, what, like you have another life. You have kids or whatever.
That's
what,
it.
Yeah.
Where you can see now, I think on the Westmeath team, I don't think there's anyone with kids. Is there playing?
No, actually,
There
yeah.
isn't.
You're right.
And,
no.
the way it is gone now, you can't really, if you want to
How
put
could
in
you
there,
do it?
you
Yeah.
can't have a family. And
Is
that's
that right? Like, do you agree with the way it's gone, or
Well,
has it's probably gone in a good way for the game
Yeah.
itself? It's
like
it's
if you're trying
developed,
to, if you're
but
trying to commit properly, like if you have a family that you
Yeah.
need to be
you have to
with.
have a good wife.
yeah, you want to
it'll
be
It'll
patient.
be hard to commit. It'll be hard to commit properly if if you have a family waiting for your home, like
Yeah.
kids and all that. So I suppose that's why the age is kind of dropping a little
They're
bit.
starting to retire that
So-
bit younger.
Yeah,
Or go still, you'd
Yeah,
see a
well-
lot of people will just go travelling because they've had enough.
yeah.
And look, it's
Yeah, I
It's
think I
still
seen
getting-
that with our own county in Meath. Like a lot of the lads just said, "No, I just want a break."
Yeah.
You know, we've did it for 5-6 years now, and I just need that rest
And
and
you'd always
to
have
try out
people-
other things. And
yeah.
like they'd college and stuff. They're like everything gets put on the back burner
Yeah.
because you want to push on with
And that's what I
county.
even done it myself when I was in college too.
Yeah.
And it just ends up building up, and then you lose everything. But and then if someone does want to take a break, the people then will be giving out. Oh, he should be playing county. He should be playing football. But sure, if he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to.
Yeah,
life,
that's
like,
wrong, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so I'm a Meath woman. If I haven't told you.
Don't like that.
Oh, less of that now. Sure, Westmeath. Sure, we're neighbours.
Yeah, we're neighbours, innit?
Yeah. So I haven't got over now 2015. Do you remember that, Kieran?
No.
No. So you bet Meath for the first time in the championship that year. First time ever, wasn't
First
it?
time ever,
Yeah.
First time ever.
And what did you get again?
I don't know.
Go on, you definitely do know.
I was the centre back that was full forward.
Yeah. What did you come out with? Like 2,
2-3.
2, 3.
From centre back.
Well, no, I was full forward. For the second half, but-
And so that must have been a good memory for the first time ever to beat Meath.
Again, yeah, like it's the way we did it. Kind of was probably even better. Like that, we were 10 points down in the second half.
Yeah, it was unreal.
But look, I was just lucky that I got the scores that day. Like the ball had to come in, and the lads done huge work on the outfield and were giving the ball in. We just had the space in there and we made the most of it. But as I said, like earlier on with the Division 3, you were looking when we won, we were just into the stand, looking into the stand, and you could actually see Westmeath fans crying again. Like, I don't know.
Coming from 10
They
points
must be
down,
soft or something. They're all crying the whole time.
You're all soft in Westmeath. That's what I hear.
Don't win much, see.
And that's it. Like we're just, and especially the people up around Kinnegad area,
Yeah.
Delvin, that they're on the Mead border. That
Oh, I know Delvin well. Yeah.
that we came back to Kinnegad and they were out in the streets and we don't know how much this means to us. And again, that kind of made the moment even better, more special.
Like from watching that as well, like, you know, I think there's half the team now, there's a lot of younger lads my age. Like I think there's maybe a few of us on the 30 panel, but we weren't on 26. So we're all at the game with like, but I think watching them play that game, like, you know, it's huge for us as well. It was kind of like, geez, maybe, you know,
we can do this,
we
and
can
there
do
is,
this, like, to push on a little bit more. I think that's what's bringing into with Jack now. That's what's bringing into the panel now. So
yeah. I think my own club mate Brian McMahon, I don't know if he's any is now
playing, was he?
Yeah, he got 2 goals that day within a minute.
Yeah,
he's nippy little.
small lad, Mark.
Yeah.
James Dolan.
Oh yes.
So I thought we had
sprinter.
no, that's
No,
the Eamon Wallace.
That's Eamon
yeah.
Wallace, sorry, yeah.
But
He's
he's
good.
from Ratoath as well, yeah.
Yeah. Oh God.
But yeah, I thought we sealed the deal that day, and
Yeah.
no, just came back. So the Super 8s, what do you make of it? Do you think it's counterproductive maybe for maybe the likes of Roscommon this year? You've seen them playing a nothing game there at the end of the season. What do you think of it in general?
I think it's a waste of time.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was kind of. I'm going to
controversy.
you on that one. No, I liked it as in the fact that, you know, you have something to look forward to, trying to work towards, like trying to make that Super 8. You know, even though you might not make it or you might make it, but, you know, you've seen like Roscommon making it and we're not a million miles away from them either. So I was just kind of, that's how I would see it, kind of trying to push to make that.
you're not too far away from.
Not too far away from it. So like every year trying to make that Super 8 should be a goal in championship. So that's how I see it.
Kieran,
Anyway.
what do you think?
I just think there was kind of a better buzz around just getting to a quarter final. Like Super 8, it's kind of nearly like another championship on its own, where everyone wanted to hear that they got to a super quarter final.
Yeah.
You'd often see posters around Westmeath of when they got to a quarter final in 2001, was it? I think they bet Mayo or something to get to a quarter final, and there's still posters going around about that. Like, but there is more games, but you can see it's the same things happening the whole time. Like, there's always one game that does make a difference. Like last year, I think was it Roscommon, they got obviously improved this year. They were competing better, but like they went into the Super 8s. I think Kildare were in it last year, and they got shy kicked out of them in 2 games, and then you just have to play another game. Where you used to have your straight knockout. It makes a lot more simple, and it frees up more time for the game for championship then coming later on, because it's just delaying the whole system. Even though the All Ireland final was earlier this year, but you're compacting more games. It suits the teams that have the bigger panels, the stronger panels, because you're not going to get through 2 games without getting someone injured.
And also, I'd say for any county board, it's going to cost a fortune to send any players into that. And maybe if you're not the likes of Kerry and Dublin, and you know, it's a big ask. And is there a point, you know, if you're the likes of maybe, you know, Westmeath or Roscommon or even Meath, you know, they were the same this year. Is there a point in it?
Look, again, you're getting more games.
Yeah.
But you're getting it in the wrong section of the championship. You should be getting them earlier on instead of going to the back door, losing your first round, losing the back door, you're gone. Where you should be in a quarter final spot, you're playing 3 games to get to a semi final. Where they should nearly flip it around.
Yeah, there's definitely ways to look at it. I'm sure they're still thinking and experimenting
Well, that's
with themselves.
It'll take a while to get it right. Look, you're never going to keep anyone happy.
No.
Like, you see here,
Not in the GA.
and so that's just 2 of us. So.
And Dublin themselves, obviously 5 in a row, an exceptional team. Do you think that the negative press towards them what do you make of it all? Like, it's not, to a lot of the younger players, it's not their fault that they grew up in this, you know, unreal team.
Like, I think they're class team. Obviously, like, you know, what's the difference between me and Conor Callaghan? He's obviously getting, you know, better treatment or whatever, but like he's a way better player, and he just ends up playing for Dublin. That's about it. Like, and I see, you know, I just think they're just a
class.
great team. Like, you know, you can't fault them for that. Like, you know, obviously they're getting a lot of things handed to them, but you know, they're so good.
They deserve it.
They deserve it. Like,
they do. Like, they're the first team to do 5 in a row. Why shouldn't they get it? That stuff.
So do you think the negative press then?
They are, yeah. Like,
it's awful
because they're winning. People are going to hate them.
Yeah, it's the way,
and
isn't it?
That's it. Like, I think like the whole country was shouting for Kerry. Like, didn't get to go to the first game, and we were away actually on a stag. But we
you can tell us about that.
Yeah, no. But we came back to Athlone and we were in a pub, and we were watching it there. But I think I was the actually only one shouting for Dublin in the whole pub.
And why were you shouting for them?
Because they deserve it, like, because they are very... No, like, if Kerry won it, I'd be happy too, but I wanted to see Dublin do the 5 in a row, because, look, they're like us, they're putting in the effort, they're nice guys, they're working, and why shouldn't they deserve to win it? Like, people are saying, oh, we don't want them doing the 5 in a row. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, they've put in the hard work and deserve to do it as much as Kerry deserve to win it, like.
And Boidu, do you think that they're getting better treatment? They maybe...
like,
have better, I don't know, facilities, or
like they obviously have a good bit more money behind them with their sponsorships and from the GA as well. But yeah, like that's helpful too. It'd be helpful if they give us that money in Westmeath. Like, it obviously would, you know, attract a little bit more players as well. And I say that's attracted a lot of Dublin players too, as in seeing the treatment the lads are getting. They get like serious holidays or whatever. You try your best to try and make that Dublin team then next year in order to be on that 26th, so you can go on a team holiday. But you know, I suppose they are getting better treatment in that way. Yeah.
And if each of you had to pick the player you admire most
from Dublin
from any county, it doesn't have to be Dublin. Just a
Oh,
player that you...
I'm actually asked this the whole time and I can never think of an answer. Should really pick one. Can it be hurling?
Of course, yeah.
Really? Hurling?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. Go on.
It is interesting, actually.
Actually, don't know. And it's probably because my sister lives down in Kilkenny and she lives in Tullaroan, and probably likes a Porrick Walsh from Tullaroan, obviously Kilkenny, because like they're not, and Tommy was the same. They're not the biggest men, but God, when they go out onto the pitch,
The Terriers.
yeah, and they can play, they can hurl, but they live for it. And you can see now, no matter what's going on down in Tullaroan Club, they're always there, like from under 8s. Like Tommy's over the under 8s team. I think he was actually over the mothers and others team. They love the GA and will do anything for it. Like, and that's what it's all about. Like, you need them in every club.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Jack McCaffrey, as in he just seems like good crack. Like, he's probably the only lad that's smiling and walking around. Like, just seems like he's in serious spirit. I don't know what it is, but and then he just brings it to the pitch as well. He brings that kind of. He seems like
the first All Ireland there before the replay. Jesus, he was unstoppable.
He was class. Like,
nothing could go wrong.
And then like just see him walking around before the game, whatever, just smiley head and I'm having a great time. Like,
that's what Dublin can do. Like, he scored 1-3 that day.
Yeah, from half back.
And then Kerry kind of tied him down the next day, but then someone else stepped up to the
yeah.
yeah. Like, your Merchant ran through and scored. He was outstanding. Like, someone else will always step up because they have the talent there.
Well, maybe in the lesser counties, you probably, you're relying a lot on lads. When Dublin have maybe 15 on the bench that could come on and do damage.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
they'd start in any other county.
Yeah. And how much of a bond do county players have, or is it more?
That's not
I don't
great,
like
really.
it, no.
I can see it here anyway.
Yeah, like, it's strange because there will be certain times when it finishes up, there's a lot of lads I haven't seen, and it's just the way it works out because we're all living our own lives. But as soon as we're back in the dressing room, it's like we're there the whole time. Obviously, look, you'll be closer to some lads, but some lads you will not get on with, but you respect them because you know that they're there for the same reason. But like, I don't know
loads
how
of
we
different
actually ended up
personalities, isn't it?
friends, because there is a bit of an age gap. I'm 23, he's 28.
Let's change that around.
Lies.
But it just happened.
I'm 23. He's 28.
Yeah, it just happened,
There.
and I think it's because there's a group of us, like, we all travel together
Yeah.
to training, and that's it. Like, Owen Carby is another one. He's the goalkeeper. With the three of us, like, I think the women thought we were having an affair. Well, this woman did, because, but
Spending too much time together.
yeah, but like
exactly.
that's the thing. Our nights off, we'd ring each other. Do you want to go for food, or
Yeah, like,
we go bowling?
do you know, like it's just people you're spending so much time with. Do you know, you're with them more than you're actually with your own family. Like, so, do you know, why wouldn't you be your best friend?
And do you have that close bond with your club mates as well, or is it more county?
Yeah, you would, like.
You would, like, but it's because you wouldn't be training that much. Like, you're only your 2-3 nights with your club, but like as I said, we're 6 times a week
Yeah.
with the county. But
I'd
you
say
will
you'd be
have it. You do
closer.
have it too. You do have it when you go back to the club, like, because you're obviously there. You're joining in. You want to show them that you're committed to them too. But I think you obviously will have it closer with your club or with your county.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'd say that too. You definitely be closer with your county lads. Like,
Yeah.
as in, like, you're right. Spending so much time with the person, like, you know, you end up being nearly good friends or best friends. At the end
Yeah,
of the day.
definitely. And so, say for like traveling to away matches now, what does a timeline look like for you?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It depends where it is, I suppose. The overnights can be
Yeah,
tough.
say it's an overnight
Yeah.
game. So
You'd be
what
gone.
happens?
You'd be gone early. Like, if the game was Sunday, we'd be going early Saturday, get up there. I think all you'd seem to do was eat.
Yeah, like,
we
yeah.
stopped,
Oh,
we
yeah.
went on a training
Yeah.
weekend there, and I think I came
Yeah.
back about a stone heavier because we
All you do
actually
is-
sat down 4 times George throughout the day to eat.
You have
but it's
what,
the same
lunch,
as when you go to
brunch.
the day before. You're just stopping to eat. Like, you're gone from probably 2 or 3 to that day before.
And is this proper meals that they've set out, or is it just like you're
Oh no,
stopping at a hotel?
Supermax.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like, it's
Yeah.
proper. Like, we'd be stopping on the way up to get something to eat. Then when we get to hotel, we'll be getting food again. You go to bed, you wake up, you have breakfast. Then you'll have something probably before the match.
Yeah, you're just constantly eating.
Yeah,
So-
it's such a big ordeal, isn't it? And that's
Yeah.
for the one game then the next
And
day.
that's it.
Yeah.
Then you could go out and get shape out of you.
Yeah.
Then you have
But that
4
doesn't
hours,
happen though.
Then you could have 4 hours coming home on a bus. But look, it come.
And then you have to get up for work then on the Monday morning.
Monday
It just
morning, yeah.
But like,
Go again.
look, the
Do all
nights
over.
away are enjoyable. It is tough. Like, again, if you had a family, it is tough.
tough, yeah.
But the fact that we don't, our team is probably lucky. We actually go and have the crowd. Gerald Leach, he's one of the players. He's a barber.
Oh,
So his
yeah,
room
yeah,
is
yeah,
usually
yeah.
the barber room. There's a queue outside. And
What?
he's
He
the
brings-
lads.
clippers with him. Yeah,
No.
yeah.
So you go get your haircut
No,
before the game.
some lads do.
Some lads.
Some lads do. We
Like,
don't.
I remember.
No
I
nerves
remember a
there
few-
anyway. Got to look good for the cameras.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago. Sure, Jerry used to just have everyone come to one spot somewhere, someone's
Yeah.
house, someone's, gym, whatever, and he'd just set up there, and everyone just get their haircuts
Yeah.
by him. You know?
Because you can't,
You have to be
do
looking
much,
well.
so you have to pass time. So,
Yeah.
especially in the hotel, because obviously you can't go down to the bar. You can't go into town because you've no car, you're stranded, and they usually do pick hotels that are outside of towns. But
Yeah.
you're just sitting around, walking around, looking for stuff to do. So he brings his clippers and
Cut your hair, why not?
clips your hair.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Make
So that's a
sure you-
ritual
ma-
before the games now.
Some
Westmeath
some of them
players
lads,
get their
yeah.
hair cut.
No, don't.
The barber
All the
comes
time,
to
man.
them.
I think that
That's the
actually
line.
the time we met me, that was the day before. a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
you'd
lads
bring
did.
that up, wouldn't you?
Someone actually tweeted. It was one of the Monaghan players. I can't think. He said, "Never mind whoever cut the Westmeath lads' hair should get nominated for an All-Star."
It was that good.
You're looking good.
Or whatever happened that
yeah.
day. Turned it on.
Break the place.
And so the ladies football and camogie is really catching the public's eye now at the minute. The 2020 campaign. Would you have a favourite ladies footballer?
Oh, I know Lindsay Davey actually. Met
Oh,
her
yeah.
at one of the Crow Park events, but she seems very nice. So she's a good footballer too.
Yeah.
Only seen her play properly there in the final there the other day, but serious footballer. She'd probably be my
I
favourite
have
at
to
the
give my
moment.
cousin a shot on this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Give her
go
a
for
shot.
it.
Leanne Seven, Westmeath.
Oh, yeah.
I obviously she taught me everything, even though she's younger. But no, Westmeath
She's a
have
great player.
look. They're doing a big push for the ladies GA and the Camogie, and you can see the difference that the Camogie made.
Great year this year.
Speaking of the 2020 campaign,
Yeah,
actually, it's a big
perfect.
push in all the
Yeah.
colleges. I'm going to give AIT a plug there.
Oh yeah, where are
Uh,
you working, Kieran?
At Lone Institute of Technology. But there is huge campaign going for that, and I think we're actually launching a video on the Tuesday. I think every college has a slot to launch a video, so look, it's a great campaign. It should work. And in fairness, Dublin are backing it as well. You've seen against Cork, they had it on the jerseys, so every little helps.
Yeah.
But and it does need, because there is great games out there to watch.
Oh, big time.
Like I was at our senior club, Gary Castle were playing Lomans in the ladies semi-final, and it was a brilliant game.
yeah.
And you're just watching it, and like they're putting in as much commitment at county level and probably not getting as much out of it. Where they need to get the backing and they need the support from everybody. And look, this campaign, hopefully it will be a success.
Yeah. I think I seen a thing there this year about the Mayo ladies. They were getting funding to help them with their diesel and their petrol going to training. And I actually read, I think it was Kieran Donaghy that said he just sort of took a step back. He couldn't believe, like someone had told him this story. And he said, what? He's like, they don't get diesel money and they don't get petrol money. He's like, no, Mayo were the first team this year to get that. And it's funny because that's probably maybe a smaller thing that just comes with it. Do you know?
Yeah.
So they're definitely, but even seeing them get that, there is going to be changes, and you can see it already. I know the All Ireland now. I don't know if you've seen the ladies All Ireland this year. It wasn't the strongest of games,
Yeah, it's
but
funny.
Watch
the whole thing.
there's always going to be games like that.
exactly, had the weather and stuff that probably played its
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
So.
But like the semi-finals were great games.
Oh, unreal.
Like Galway Mayo again was probably one of the best games of the year.
Yeah.
And I think Galway, their goal should be probably goal of the year. The first one they scored.
What was that now again? Even though I was at the game.
Number 12 scored it. I think they worked it
Oh,
so well.
yes,
She
yeah.
ran in from the sideline, that diagonal run, but the passing before it was
Yeah.
just unbelievable.
Oh, that's it. I think there's there's less tactics in ladies, but it's more free flowing. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, it is.
You know, the long ball is still there, and there's a lot off the shoulder play, and no, definitely, it's coming up, definitely.
Yeah, it's great as well.
And we just have a Camogie player. That
Camogie players.
would you know any?
Who you go? I don't know. A few of the Westmeath ladies.
Yeah, we have to stick to our own.
Yeah, we have to stick to our own.
Yeah, definitely.
was-
Sure.
I was
The year
watching
the
you on
Westmeath
Pamela.
ladies
Pamela
had this year.
Gravel.
I was watching
It
you on
just,
Pamela
like,
Gravel.
I done a
Outrageous.
camp with her there. It was actually a sports talk camp there a few years ago.
Oh,
But Pamela Gravel was a coach, and what she's put in for the county has been unbelievable. I think she's there 14 years, and she's probably 2 kids as well. Like,
Yeah.
And she deserves every bit she got this year, and I think she's probably nominated as well for, I think, one of the Soaring Stars. So
Yeah.
brilliant.
the likes
She
of
is.
her, that in fairness, like she kept plugging in, and she eventually got her.
She got there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is hard because a lot of people were shocked to see Westmeath there this year.
Especially when you have 2 kids.
Yeah.
to
Oh
come
my
back
God.
and
Yeah.
play.
Serious
And
going, like.
You'd wonder
could
how
have been
they do
player of
that.
the match in the final as well. Like, so
Yeah.
she's better than we are.
Yeah.
It's
And
outrageous.
so, off the topic now, social media. So obviously it comes with it nowadays. You know, you mightn't have had that there 5 years ago. It wouldn't even have been as a big a thing. Do you get good messages? Do you get bad messages? What is
Yeah,
it like?
I get great messages. I actually
Oh,
got a
that's nice.
message from.
Names.
Yeah, I got a message from one of the. He's a mixed race kid from Waterford, and his mother messaged me and was like saying how he's getting hard times in school or at matches from other people giving him racial comments or whatever. He doesn't know how to react to it, and he starts acting up, and he's acting up at home, he's acting up on the pitch and all that. And his mom was like, "Can you just send him a message or whatever? It'll make his day." There's me like, jeez, that's kind of mad like that way.
You're
as
taken
in,
back a bit by
kind
that.
of taken back a little bit by it, but it's great that way. As in, like, I can encourage a good message for myself and hopefully help someone else. I
Yeah.
don't know about you, but that's. how I
that's
feel.
amazing.
There is message. You'll see the difference. Someone will be just kind of messaging you saying, "Can I have a jersey?"
Yeah.
But like some lads will actually, and some lads will actually message you and they'll put in like you're one of my favorite players. I really
Yeah.
look up there. by any chance, if you have any spare jersey, would you mind
Oh,
sending me? So
really?
the likes of them, you would.
Yeah.
Have you ever sent anything?
Yeah, so there was a young lad from Leitrim, and I wrote him a letter and just sent it with the jersey and
God.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but like, it's them that you're doing it for.
Mm.
You wish you could see his face if when he did open the envelope with the
Yeah.
letter. He probably didn't even read the letter through the way, but
Yeah.
but
Say
but
it's
that's
framed.
it. Yeah, but
that's
it's
that's
things
what
like
comes.
that. Yeah,
That's what kind of comes with the whole
Yeah.
social
but like
media. as well.
you'll meet families and you'll get pictures with their kids. You'll chat to them, and their parents would write to you then after, just saying thanks a million. You didn't need to do that. And like a couple of years ago, the communions were on around our local. Well, Mount Temple will be a different parish, but one of the mother and father of the child asked me would I call down to the communion just to surprise that they were having at the house,
No
just
way.
to surprise them, and they did and. It's just little moments like that you'll always remember.
Yeah,
so.
you'll never forget.
And I just remember walking in the door in a suit, and he just kind of was going around. Next thing, he bumped into me and looked
Yeah.
up, and then he actually got
God.
shocked in his life. But then, like, they're things you'll always remember.
Yeah.
And that's what you do it for.
When you were younger then, who was a player you might have looked up to? I'm just thinking of that little
Mine would have
kid.
been my local club player, John Kane. You know, he won an All-Star with Westmeath.
Yeah.
I think he was he one of two, was it?
There's 3 All-Stars.
3 All-Stars, sorry.
That's
3
right, yeah.
All-Stars. The one, so he probably was my role model growing up.
Was he a cornerback?
He was a
or-
cornerback.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a cornerback. So yeah, I'd say probably him. He's probably my role model.
For Westmeath, I don't. It's like I grew up 95. Westmeath won the minor. 99, they won the under 21. So I would have had. Maryland were lucky. Like as I said, my cousin was on the 95 team, so I kind of would have looked up to him.
Mhm.
And then 99, another club team player, Ricky Brown.
Oh yeah.
He was on the team in 99, so I kind of would have looked up to him. David was thrown aside,
Yeah.
and I was looking up to him. But then when it come to senior, like Desi would have taught me in school.
I was like, I know he is going to mention
I
Desi.
have to
Yeah,
give him
yeah,
because he
yeah,
was
Des.
always good to me in school. Because I
Yeah.
actually, in my last year, I was playing with him on the Westmeath senior team, and he was teaching me as well.
Oh my God.
So it was, and he always kind of gave me good advice
Yeah.
in school. And if I was struggling, he'd bring me in and he'd look after me that way. So he was always a player that I did look up to, and sure, you couldn't get a better role model. than
No,
him,
I
like.
don't think so. And with the social media then, obviously we talked about all the positives. Has there been negatives as well?
Like you'll always have negatives. It was just by chance actually I was going through the phone one time and just seen them. But the one thing I got about that annoyed me more about than it wouldn't bother me the negative feedback or what people are saying online. But my mother was going through them and she
Oh,
was
God.
which she was more devastated for, and she was crying and ringing. Say, did you see what this lad said? I said, "Ma'am, would you leave them alone? I don't give a shite about
Yeah.
them." Because it's very easy to say that, like, and some of them don't realise that you can see who's saying it. Like their names are actually up there. And
You'd wonder what
and you
goes
meet them
through
on the
people's
street
heads.
and they'd walk the other side because they wouldn't be afraid to meet you face to face. And
So it's people you know.
you just know of them, like, because I think we played Offaly one year, and a bit of argy-bargy during the game, and I said something to your man after the game, and then he, as we were walking off the pitch, he just came over and actually broke my nose, and then there was big hoo-ha about that, but there was a lot of negative people putting up stuff online, because obviously it was all over the Facebook, and then people commented on it, but it's your family that
That
probably
see all them comments.
See, I
as
don't
well.
mind because you're used to it, and it's the thing you have to get used to when you are a player. But it's your family that probably come out the worst out of it because they don't know how to take it, and they just think
Don't understand
yeah.
it as well, yeah. And they don't know how you're feeling
Yeah.
from reading it.
Well,
Their
I
heart's
didn't-
breaking
it
for
didn't
you
bother
then.
me, yeah, and that's it.
And Boidu.
Yeah, like like I got some few negative feedback back with the air ad on
Oh,
YouTube.
really?
So they actually had to stop the comments on the air ad because there was like obviously a group of people messaging onto that, and they're saying pretty negative stuff. Like, but it doesn't really it doesn't affect me, as Kieran said. It kind of affects my sister. My sister Marie seen it, and she was trying to she was trying to not hide it away from me, like, and I'm
Yeah.
like, Marie, I've seen that already like 2 hours ago or whatever, and she's like, are you okay about it? And I'm like, fine. Are you okay about it? Mom as well, trying to make sure they're all right.
Yeah.
Because they'll get pretty upset over people dropping comments that that would hurt them, and they're
Yeah.
like, they obviously know that I'm trying to give you know, a good relationship or a good environment to the GAA community, and then people are backlashing that onto you. It doesn't really come down too well, you know. So yeah, you'd be more worried about your family.
It's unreal, isn't it? You don't know how someone could make that negative. Like,
Yeah,
how?
you know.
It's such a good story.
Yeah, exactly.
Such
like
a positive thing.
Like some people
Sorry
be-
about that.
It's all Kieran.
like some people be saying like, you know, the sports is turning into, you know, like it's turning to mixed racial or whatever. It's the whole
This
Irish,
is what people were writing.
yeah,
that
people be saying like the whole Irish game is going out the window now with all these different multicultural people playing the sports, which is
it's
you know,
growing the game.
which is
What?
outrageous. And then, you know, like I've been here since I was 8, so I consider myself
Irish.
nearly fully Irish. Like I've been here longer than I was in Liberia, so you know, and there's kids here who are born here and they're black and they obviously want to play the sports they grew up watching or playing. So, you know, for people to put comments like that on, that's where it kind of shallows people away from the sports that way. But other than that, the rest is good. It's
Great
good
fun, yeah. But it's the people that are writing that they don't have a clue about.
Don't
GAA.
have a
yeah,
clue.
exactly.
This is
Like,
it.
you know, they just see the Irish sport and they're like, you know, it's a white Irish sport, even though it's changing so much now.
It's changing so much. I'm sure there's so many kids that have seen you playing now and have decided to start playing.
Exactly.
Have you had any experience of
kids have said that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got a phone call from Jimmy Ganud, who plays on the Westmeath team as well. He was saying, you know, there's a little kid here who's kind of getting little feedback, but he started playing Gaelic or whatever, and he loves you or whatever. He loves playing with you. Would you be able to come down and just kick around the ball with him? And I was like, of course, like, what the hell? Of course, you don't even have to ask me. Just tell me to come down and do this. I'd definitely do it. Like, you know, that's what GA is all about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm all about as well. You know, so
That's lovely. That's so nice. Well, lads, thanks a million. I hope you enjoyed that now.
no
it's great.
problem.
Thank
It's
you.
great.
Thanks a
It's
lot.
great. Thanks a minute.